Have you ever tried to change someone's mind by presenting all the right facts, only to have them tune out, push back, or shut down completely? Yeah, I've been there. For a long time, I thought influence was about what you said, the logic, the persuasion tactics, the clever lines. But here's what I didn't realize. When someone doesn't feel understood, they don't listen. They defend. That's why emotional influence doesn't begin with strategies or scripts. It starts with awareness, not of what you want, but of how the other person feels. Especially when it comes to women and attraction, most guys get it backward. They try to impress before they connect. They show off cracked jokes, talk fast, desperately hoping she'll approve of them. But influence doesn't work when you're out of sync emotionally. It's like trying to dance with someone to different music. You both end up stepping on each other's feet. Real influence happens when you match emotional rhythm first. That's the foundation. And here's the part nobody teaches you. The best influencers aren't the loudest, they're the most emotionally attuned. They notice micro-expressions. They read shifts in tone. They feel when someone is open or guarded and adjust accordingly. They don't bulldoze through a conversation. They blend, then guide. If you want to influence anyone, especially a woman you're attracted to, don't start with charm. Start with calibration. Ask yourself, what's the energy she's putting out right now? What mood is she in? Relaxed, nervous, bored, curious? And most importantly, am I meeting her where she is emotionally? Because once you can meet her there, she'll naturally start following your lead. And when you master that shift, you stop chasing attention and start attracting it. Let me ask you something simple. Have you ever noticed how your mood changes depending on how you move? Try this next time you're walking alone. Seriously, try it. First, walk tall. Chin up, shoulders relaxed. Look out at the skyline or treetops. Add a slight smile even if you're not feeling anything special. Now flip it. Drop your shoulders. Stare at the ground. Slow your pace. Put your hands in your pockets and drag your feet a bit. In just 2 minutes, you'll feel 2 very different emotional states without thinking a single happy or sad thought. Why? Because your body leads your mind. This is powerful, especially when it comes to attraction. Because not only do your movements influence your own emotions, they also influence the people around you, and vice versa. Your brain is wired with something called mirror neurons. It's why you feel tension when someone across the room is anxious, or why laughter becomes contagious even if you didn't hear the joke. This is why emotional influence begins with the body. Here's how it works in practice. When you approach a woman or interact with anyone, observe their posture first. Are they closed-off arms, crossed shoulders tight? Are they open, leaning, and relaxed face, expressive hands? Once you've noticed their state, subtly adjust your posture to match the energy, not copy match. This is mirroring. You're not mimicking their every move like a clown in a mirror. You're syncing your emotional tone with theirs through posture, pacing, and presence. You're telling their subconscious, we're in the same world. From that shared space, trust builds. From trust, rapport grows. And from rapport, influence flows naturally, without effort, without performance. I'll be honest, when I first practiced this, I felt weird. It felt subtle, maybe even pointless. But the shift in reactions I got, especially from women, was undeniable. They leaned in more. They smiled quicker. Conversations felt smoother, lighter, more connected. That's when it clicked. If you want to get inside someone's mind, start with the language their body already speaks. Let's say you've just matched her body language. You're relaxed because she's relaxed. You're calm because she's calm. Now comes the moment that separates amateurs from naturals. Do you try to lead the mood? Or do you wait? Here's the golden rule. You earn the right to influence after you've emotionally calibrated. Emotional calibration means you're not just matching posture, you're matching state. That means you've paid enough attention to understand how she feels in that moment, and you've adjusted your internal emotional tone to match hers. Example: if she's sitting in silence and looking reflective, don't jump in with a joke. Match her tempo. Start with something soft. Let her feel that you're with her before you try to steer the direction of the moment. Why does this work? Because humans, especially women, are extremely sensitive to emotional misalignment. If she's tired and you're overly energetic, it feels fake. If she's open and you're guarded, it feels awkward. But when you're attuned to her emotional vibe, it feels effortless, natural, safe. Once that emotional connection is in place now, you can begin leading the vibe toward the mood you want without force. If she's anxious, guide toward calm by slowing your voice and grounding your presence. If she's quiet, bring her into playful curiosity with light teasing or warm eye contact. If she's distracted, pull her into the moment with attentive presence. And here's the part that most guys overlook. You don't change her mood by telling her to change it. You change it by changing your own, slowly, intentionally, confidently. Your energy leads the dance, but only if you've listened to the rhythm first. Master this, and you won't just get her attention. You'll have her emotional trust. And once you have that, she'll start to follow your lead without even realizing it. By now, you've created emotional alignment through body language and presence. So here's the next move. Don't break the connection by suddenly switching to logical persuasion. That's like dancing perfectly with someone, then stepping on their foot and asking, "Was that okay?" Instead, you want to use language that feels effortless, phrases that slip under the radar, bypass conscious resistance, and invite a natural yes. Let me show you how. Use statements like, "We both know this is going to be fun," as you probably already guessed. These suggest shared understanding, so she feels like she's already on your side. Why it works. People hate being sold but love feeling included. Instead of, "Would you like to go somewhere else?" say, "Let's grab a drink nearby. Let's check that place out." By framing a suggestion as a natural next step, you remove the pressure of decision-making. Bonus tip. The word "let's" sounds collaborative, not controlling. Instead of, "Do you want to hang out?" say, "Want to chill at my place or yours?" Would you rather do something chill or spontaneous tonight? Why it works. People feel more in control when choosing between two positives rather than facing a direct yes, no. Example. You're going to love what happens next. You'll probably want to do this again. You're planting emotional expectations, she starts imagining, and feelings follow imagination. Start with small statements she'll agree with. "It's nice out tonight." Yes. "Feels good to finally relax." Yes. "Let's grab a drink." High chance of yes. By the time you get to what you really want, her brain is in compliance mode. These phrases are powerful, but only when layered on top of real emotional alignment. If you skip connection, these feel like manipulation. If you've built rapport, they feel like leadership. The secret isn't in the script. It's in the state you're in when you say it. Let's be honest, most pickup techniques sound great in theory, but crash and burn in real life. Why? Because they ignore context. They treat people like puzzles to solve, not humans to connect with. Real influence doesn't come from reciting magic lines. It comes from reading the moment and responding like a grounded, emotionally intelligent man. The grocery store moment. Let's say you're chatting with a friendly cashier. She's smiling, engaged, and there's light banter going on. Instead of saying something rehearsed like, "You're cute, what's your number?" you read the room. You mirror her energy. You say, "You probably deal with 100 faces a day. I bet half of them forget to look you in the eye." That's not a pickup line. That's a disarming truth. And if there's chemistry, it'll pull her in, not push her away. The first date shift. You're on a date and things feel a little stiff. Instead of forcing energy, you mirror the calm tone she's in. Then you ask, ideally, what does a perfect night look like for you? That one word ideally invites her to imagine, to feel, and to share something authentic. Now, you're not just some guy asking questions. You're the guy who actually gets her. And when she answers, you don't have to change who you are. You just look for the overlap, then lead the night in that direction. Even in professional settings, the same rules apply. When someone describes their problem, don't jump in with a solution. Mirror their frustration first. Then say, "You're probably already thinking what I am about to say, right?" That kind of phrasing invites collaboration, not resistance. You become persuasive, not because you're pushy, but because you're aligned. Let's be crystal clear about something. These tools are powerful, but power without integrity becomes manipulation. If you're using mirroring, emotional calibration, or subtle language just to get your way without caring about the other person you're not attracting, you're manipulating. And here's the truth, manipulation always backfires. Even if it works in the moment, you'll feel it later in your gut, in your relationships, in your self-respect. I've been there. I've tried to win attention without connection. And even when it looked like success, it felt hollow. Because deep down, I knew I wasn't being me. I was performing for approval. So here's your boundary line. If you're using these tools to build connection, trust, and understanding, you're leading. If you're using them to fake emotions, bypass consent, or push past someone's comfort zone, you're controlling. And ironically, the more honest and grounded you are, the better these tools work. Because people can feel when your energy's clean. So don't use these ideas to trick women. Use them to show up better. Speak more clearly. Listen more deeply. And most of all, lead with respect, not need. Because a woman might forget what you said, but she'll never forget how she felt around you. So let's step back for a second. You've learned how to read emotions without words. You've learned how your body can mirror hers and how that syncs your energy before you even speak. You've learned how to use soft, precise language to shift a conversation without pressure, without tricks. But most importantly, you've learned that real attraction doesn't begin with performance. It begins with presence. Because here's the truth. Women aren't drawn to perfection. They're drawn to men who feel safe, grounded, and emotionally in tune. Not because those men are trying hard, but because they're not trying to be anyone else. This isn't about memorizing techniques. It's about becoming someone who leads from internal alignment, so when you walk into a room, people feel it before you even speak. So what now? If you want to go deeper, I've created a full video series that walks you step by step through the psychology of attraction, from the moment you make eye contact to the moment she chooses to stay. It's not about hacks. It's about transformation. Hit that subscribe button if this connected with you. Check the playlist below for the next episode. And remember, stop chasing. Start attracting. Because when you learn how to lead emotionally, she'll follow instinctively.